You know what? You just made the list.
Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey here today. Yes.
We are the Markout Movie Podcasters, and this is Brandon and I can say for myself, I know Brandon agrees, my favorite time of the year, favorite show of the year.
Yes.
Tell them what we got, Brandon.
We have the absolute worst films of 2022 and, our opinion, the best films of 2022.
Yeah.
Felt good to say.
It's gonna be great. But before we do that, we're gonna get into a little bit of what we watched. So I'm trying to get to my list of movies I recently watched. Let's see. Activity, there we are. I had to go to my letterbox. Brandon, can I start us off on what I watched?
Go ahead.
First thing that I want to say I watched recently. So I watched a movie this week called, it was on Tubi. If you don't know, Tubi's free.
It is.
And you get some stuff on Tubi.
You do.
You get some most interesting things on Tubi. There is a movie, there's two of them that came out 2022 this year. I was going to put them on my worst list, but there's other stuff I hated more than these. And it's called Stepmother. Stepmother and Stepmother 2. Both of these films have stars Marcus Houston from Immature fame. It also stars let's see, I don't know. It don't look like Keith Sweat's son, Justin Sweat, and it's pretty much the movie Stepfather, but with a woman.
Role reversal.
It's a role reversal, and it's just so bad. But part two is worse. Oh my goodness! Oh, it's so bad.
Is there going to be a third?
Yes.
Yes. It sounds like it's up my alley, man, to watch some really bad movies.
Tubi has greenlit a third film. So yeah, it's gonna be a third film. Yeah. Oh Lord. Stepmother and Stepmother 2. Also, this is another Tubi original I watched. It's called A Christmas Karen. It's like A Christmas Carol, but with a lady who's a Karen.
She's Karen.
You know, she talks focused on black people, type of Karen. That's a Karen. She's a Karen, but it was fun. I thought it was very funny. It doesn't have really good effects in it, but it has some really great editing, like cutaway, cut gags, and like in-screen gags that I thought was pretty funny. But it's called A Christmas Karen, and she has the Karen haircut and everything. All right, realistically, I watched White Noise. It just came out today, but I watched it screener. It's Noah Baumbach's White Noise. I thought it was really good editing wise and everything, but I'm gonna discuss it because it's on my list somewhere. And then I don't even talk about I'm gonna talk about stuff that's not on my list. Resurrection. I watched that. It has Tim Roth and that lady that was in Night House, or is it Dark House? Which one that came out of Night House? That lady. It's one of the weirdest films. It's one of the weirdest films I've ever seen. It's weird, man. But it's not mad God weird. But it's weird. I'm done. Yeah, that's all I wanted to mention.
That's all you wanted to mention.
One more.
One more. He's got one more.
Athena. Athena is a movie that I really enjoyed on Netflix, but it didn't make any of my list. I thought it was really. It's a foreign film, takes place in France. Great camera work. It's like a lot of single shot type of like story driven like that. But it didn't make my list because there's things I watched that I like more. but I really enjoyed Athena. I think that it was really great cinematography. Um, Story was is about like a Muslim kid in Paris who was killed by the police, and his death sparks a revolution between like the police and the people. And
Yeah.
it's really and it's a brother is a police officer, another brother is a revolutionary, and the other brother was the one that was killed. And another brother that's alive is a drug dealer. And so it's really good storytelling. It's called Athena. I recommend you watch it, Brandon. Um,
He
but yeah,
recommends.
that's it. Bones and all, but yeah, it's whatever. I wasn't really all that psyched about it. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Two of the things I'm going to mention further on the list because they both made my list. The Sea Beast um, from Netflix, animated picture. I didn't go in it expecting anything really, but it warmed my heart, man. It really did. I was very impressed with the animation in that movie, the story in the movie. Oh man, I'll talk about it a little bit, but I really enjoyed that movie. Avatar 2. Um, I won't say much. It's on my list. I won't say much, but what I will say is once the movie starts, I was blown away by the world again. Like what he accomplished in that movie is mind blowing. It looked so real. It really did. It was beautiful, but it looked so real. I mean, oh man. And props to Stephen Lang, who's the villain. He's just awesome. I love him. Um, it's on my list though. I'll talk about it in a bit. But also, I finished Perfect Strangers, and man, I got emotional in the end. Um, I love Balky and Larry, cousin Larry. I know it's an old show, but still, man, it warmed my heart to watch that and finish that. And I hate when it wraps up though. You know what I mean?
I do. I'm trying to mute your
Mute me.
uh
He's muting
not
me.
not you, but on Facebook. 'Cause I wanted to see if there was any
Well,
comments.
of course you are. Don't be ridiculous.
Is that a perfect stranger?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, you ready for the list? I feel like my throat's going dry, man.
It's best and the worst of 2022. We're finally here. It's been a year of movie watching. At the beginning of the year, I always try to catch up on things I missed in the previous year. But then once it gets into it, I really start laying into it. And we're going to start with our worst list. Let me get myself pulled up here. Since we got 15, we can kind of do it one by one, can we?
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
My worst movie, or not my worst, number 15 for me. Halloween Ends.
No, man.
The
Oh,
list is going to be different. It's going to be all
no,
over.
this is not. And this is. I expected this. I thought it would be high on your worst list, though.
I know. I knew you would think that. But Halloween Ends, for me, I was okay with the Corey Cunningham stuff, but I just felt like it was two or three separate movies. And I think that the ending just kind of took me out of it. Not the ultimate ending. I'm okay with that, but I wish that they would have established the whole Corey thing. And then it would have been actually on my best list. If they would have did that, then it would have been. I've been down for it. But the way that they did it, it felt it felt like they was like, hey man, let's go ahead and finish. And I'm not. And with that, I'm not looking forward to his Exorcist. I think he's gonna do trash in that. Honestly, in my opinion.
I think
Bilfer's
the
here.
first movie would be great.
Hey, Bilfer.
Bilfer.
But number 15 for me, Halloween Ends on my worst list. Brandon?
15 for me was a Liam Neeson movie called Blacklight. It looked straight to video, but it got a wide release. I think it lasted maybe a week and a half. It was just terrible. The acting was terrible. Everything about it was just terrible. And Blacklight. What can you say? It was very forgettable because I actually forgot I watched it. So I had to go back in my Letterboxd review to remember it. And I was like, oh yeah, that was awful. That's going on my list. It was just really bad. You
That's
know,
how that's how it was for me with a bunch of these. Number 14 for me, Clerks 3.
no.
I absolutely didn't have a good time with Clerks 3. I thought it was terrible. I just I wasn't emotionally like I felt like it was. I don't know. I would say Kevin Smith and Rob Zombie have like they were in that time frame with some of my favorite directors, but now I just feel like they. I don't know. I feel like they're not there no more. Maybe they were just for a certain time frame, and I just don't gravitate to them.
Don't worry, Kevin. I'll bring you some love in a little bit.
It's up. It's on you, buddy.
Oh, 14 for me. This got great reviews, but for me, it was one of the most boring films I've ever seen. 3,000 Years of Longing, and my review was it sure was longing. I didn't like it. I couldn't get invested in it, which is sad because I like Idris. Is it Idris Elba?
Just
I got it right. I like him, and I like Tilda Swinton, but I couldn't get invested in this movie. Uh, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
ooh. Number 13 for me is a Hulu film called The Princess. Uh, it's about a princess who's trapped in a tower, and these guys. It's pretty much Die Hard, but with a princess, and trapped in the tower, trying to get down to save her family from the very top of the tower and try to get down. And she knows martial arts and fighting and stuff because of one of her teachers. Uh, the young lady, the actress, I actually like her as an actress. I just felt like I just felt like it was just it was more boring for me, especially at some point. Like some points it was pretty boring, and some of the storylines just got lost and it's forgettable. So the Princess is my number 13.
Hmm.
Really?
My number 13 is an animated picture from Netflix. Watched it. Did I watch it yesterday or the day before? I don't even remember. I've watched so much here lately. I don't remember when I watched it.
I know
But
what it is.
anyway, it's Wendell and Wild. Oh man, I was on board at the beginning. You're meeting this family and they have a little accident and the parents die. But everything after that, I had no interest in. I didn't, as you said, that you didn't like any of the characters. None of them were kind of redeemable, and I felt the same way. I didn't care for the demons. I didn't care for the girl. I couldn't wait for it to end.
The only the character I liked is the trans girl, the trans boy who that I forgot the name of the kid that one that does art or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the only redeemable character in the whole movie. So everybody else was just like I was not. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It didn't make my list at all, but yeah, I feel you though. I agree with you. You might be mad at me with this one. Number 12 for me is Lou. Netflix movie Lou, about a woman who is like a retired something you don't know, and she's like at the end of her, like she's thinking about taking her life, but then she has interaction with this neighbor whose daughter has been kidnapped by the father, and so they got to go through this jungle, not jungle, they got to go through the woods to try to track them down. I just felt like I was okay with it taking place in the 80s. I was like, oh yes, it's in the 80s. Another thing about well, what technology we had, what did we didn't have, But I felt like the twist at the end ruins the movie, and that's why it made my worst list. I think that if they hadn't have made it that little twist, it would have been better.
Yeah.
Brent,
I feel you on that one. I mean, I like the movie, but I feel you on the twist.
my favorite film of 2022 is a full-time French film about a hotel chambermaid constantly in trouble with her manager. My anxiety was turned up to 11. Sounds like fall for Brandon.
Yes. Oh God, my anxiety. Oh.
You're 12.
12, Netflix original film. There's going to be quite a few Netflix films, I do believe. Senior year with, I don't even remember her name now. She was,
Rebel Wilson. Is that her?
there you go. There you go. Yeah. This felt like something that would have came out in the 90s. But it wasn't funny at all. It's like, it just wasn't funny. But it's about this girl that's trying to become prom queen. She's got a good chance. She likes her rival's boyfriend, and the girl's gonna play some prank on her, but it ends up putting her in a coma for like 20 years, which is, like I said, 90s. And she wakes up and she's gonna go back to school. That reminded me of Billy Madison, so I was kind of hoping to get that same flavor, but no, nothing like that. It just it was too stupid for its own good.
Andy Harden, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. I'm trying to monitor Facebook as well. Yeah, I agree with. I've seen a little bit of that one. I'm not. She's hit or miss for me, Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
She's hit or miss. Number 11 for me. Beast with Idris Elba. Yes.
I didn't put him on my list either way, but I did enjoy the movie. That's my genre right there. Animal attacks.
Yeah. I just felt like it was the kids wasn't likable, especially the oldest one. Got on my nerves. I was like, please eat her, tiger, lion. But and Idris was the glue for me for the movie. But I just felt like, for the most part, I felt like the movie was just overall boring. It had some thrilling scenes, but it's just boring for me. He said his least favorite is Zac Efron's Firestarter. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. All right, Brandon, go ahead.
What was that? Number 11 for you?
It was 11.
Okay. Number 11 for me was a movie I expected to be bad, and it was Pray for the Devil. One of the most boring what was it? Demon supernatural films I've ever witnessed at a theater. Honestly, just nothing really happens. Everything that does happen, you see 20 miles ahead. You see what's going to happen at the beginning of this movie. You know where it's going to happen. And it was just, it was boring. I mean, I wish they stopped making these kind of movies, to be honest. I mean, I'm okay with the Conjuring stuff, but stop making these type of movies where you're just ripping off The Exorcist. If you're gonna make it exciting. But I just wish they would just stop.
I agree. The number 10 for me is Master, which is a Amazon Prime original, with starring Regina Hall. I love Regina Hall as an actress. I loved her from Scary Movie to like the Best Man stuff that she does. And I enjoyed her. It didn't make any of my list, but Hunt for Jesus. I like that. I like that movie personally, but I like the other stuff more. But I loved her in there. She was the best part of it. Well, Sterling K. Brown is really.
I mean, they were great. I didn't like the movie, but they were great.
But she in Master, she's like the master of. She's the first master of a predominantly white, like private school, like Yale or something something like that. But there's also a student there that is a first time college student from her family and deals with racism the subject matter is pretty good. It has dark and scary elements. I feel like it just doesn't stick the landing. But I love Regina in it. Regina is excellent. I just felt like the movie I think people try to mimic Jordan Peele a lot. And you can't really do that, man. Jordan it's like Spielberg. Jordan is his own Spielberg's his own. Just some. Not saying that they always gonna have winners, but it's just their own thing. So, um, go ahead, Brandon. You are at 10.
10. Yeah. Well,
I
I really
agree, Bill.
liked Honk for Jesus. It was funny.
It was.
I can't say the same, but it's all subjective. Number 10 for me is a Christmas movie that came out on Netflix, once again, starring Lindsay Lohan, Falling for Christmas. Oh my God. It made me want to stop watching Christmas movies after I watched that movie. I don't like her. I've really never liked her, except for like maybe in Mean Girls and Freaky Friday. She's a terrible actress. Oh, she played a terrible person that was in a coma, comes out of it. Oh, she's so stuck up in this movie. You just want to be nice.
It's like what, Overboard, but without the character, or without like with Goldie Hawn and
Yeah,
I think
it's like that without any entertainment. It's annoying. It's what it is. I wanted to really go up there with it, but just so much I watched that was really trash.
Well,
but it made its place in my top 10.
Number 9 for me is a little movie that's on Peacock. They/Them.
Uh-oh.
I love Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon. I wanted Bacon on the list. I couldn't get Bacon. What? I couldn't get Bacon on the list. I was trying to think of what else is in this year. I couldn't get Bacon. I don't think. But
Bacon.
But I love me some Bacon. But Bacon made my worst list with They/Them. Not him. He's literally the best part of the movie.
Well, he's Kevin Bacon. I mean,
Kevin Bacon. But the rest of the movie, the slashing, it's pointless. It's very pointless. And I hated it. So They/Them, number 9.
It sounds like a movie I saw last year, but it took place in a cabin. Well, I know it takes place in a cabin too, but they were kidnapping and killing people that were gay, and that was their agenda, wipe out the gay people. I don't know if that's the situation here, but I just hated the movie. I just hated a movie like that exists, but yeah, number 9 for me. Keep the trend going because it deals with homosexuality. My Policeman. That's not why I don't like the movie. I just thought the movie was boring, and I felt sorry for the woman. This woman was married to this policeman that was having an affair with this artist, and it just I just didn't buy any relationship. I didn't buy that she stayed for so long, and I don't know. It did nothing for me.
What made you mad?
It makes me mad for the woman. Yeah, I mean, to stay in that situation like that.
Number 8 for me is Moonfall. Came out the very beginning.
I wanted to put that in my list, but I couldn't.
Stars Halle Berry and pretty much a lot of other people. I can't even think of whoever else in it.
The dude from Insidious and Conjuring, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson. Halle Berry, the dude from Game of Thrones, that's like the best friend of Jon Snow. Listen.
It was trash.
Yes, man, I love a good disaster movie, but this ain't it. This ain't it. I'll still say that my favorite disaster movie would probably be Armageddon. I just loved Armageddon. I thought it was a fun time. Then it would be the one with Tommy Lee Jones. I really enjoyed that.
What did he do?
It's not Dante's because there's two. It's kind of similar.
Volcano.
Volcano. Not Dante's Peak. That's Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
But Moonfall was just boring. It's alien. It's weird. But not good.
I don't know, what was it, the day after tomorrow? He's done so many disaster movies. He was trying to mix in Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow, and something else he's done. But it was awful. Like, I wanted to leave the theater when I watched that, and I thought it was gonna make my list, but it didn't.
I'm surprised. I can't wait to hear your number 8.
Number 8 for me was a movie. I believe it was on Hulu called Abandoned. It starred Emma Roberts, Michael Shannon. About this young couple has a baby. They move into apparently this haunted house where Michael Shannon's character lives next door. He's kept up with the house. He used to live in the house. His family killed themselves in that house. It's kind of Amity horror-esque, but it was just one of the most boring haunted house movies I've ever seen. It made you think that Emma Roberts was going crazy, but it was really boring.
Sounds boring. Oh, this might be controversial for some people. Number 7 for me, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one that came out on Netflix. I thought Leatherface was excellent. Let me start out by saying Leatherface was excellent, but just the concept of these people gentrifying this small Texas town. There's no reason for her mother, like them to kill Leatherface's mom or whoever that lady was. And they didn't have the right to be there. And then the ending, just movie. And then like they try to make it Halloween 2018 without sticking the landing with the old character. It's just bad, very bad. And it's getting a sequel, I bet, because people watched it and talked about it. And Brandon said hashtag chainsaw for that one. But that's the best thing that came out of it, is Brandon saying hashtag chainsaw. So.
Yeah, I didn't put that on my list, but it wasn't great. I agree with you about they didn't stick the landing with the Halloween 2018 lookalike. That was literally the worst part. Her. She was barely even in it, and yeah,
pointless. She's pointless. She didn't.
Yeah, she was sad, but yeah, she was pointless. My number 7, Bilfer's worst film of 2022 is Firestarter, Stephen King's Firestarter remake starring Zac Efron, and it was so bad. It was like I actually think this is maybe the worst adaptation of a Stephen King property. It was horrible. Everything about it was just bad. I didn't like Charlie. Zac Efron was okay, but the girl, she was just terrible. Everybody was bad. I don't know. It sucks. It felt like an X-Men origin story for me, but I don't
know. Yeah. I'm still here. Let's see. Number 6 for me. I just realized that my phone isn't charging. It's not on charging, but that's fine. I'm at I have a lot of percentage. So number 6 for me is a Shudder original, I guess. It's called Speak No Evil. It's about a family that goes on holiday in Holland or some country, some other country. They go somewhere with this family, and they're so polite. They're polite to a fault. They don't want to do anything to upset the people that invited them to their house, even to death. Like it's to the point of letting them just kill you, and you're not gonna fight back because you're trying to be polite. It's like a commentary on politeness, but it's so aggravating watching this movie that I was like, fight back. That's what I was literally thinking while watching. I'm like, there is no way anybody will allow you to do this, like to your child, to your wife, to any. Like if you could fight back, you'll fight back. and they didn't fight back. It just made me mad. It ticked me off. So number 6 for me is Speak No Evil. Go ahead, Brandy. I'll be right here. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Number 6 for me is a shark film that came out this year, starring Alicia Silverstone, the Requeen. She's playing a woman that lost her baby. She has like flashbacks of that and the water and the shark coming. I don't know. It was really bad. Her acting was atrocious in that movie. It just was so bad. One of the worst shark films I've ever seen. Not the worst, because my number 5 is also a shark movie, but it was just, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I've always been a big fan of Alicia Silverstone, but that one was very atrocious.
Alicia, she hasn't had to come back yet. I was gonna say The Lodge, but she's barely in it. But all right, for me, number 5 on my list, Brandon, 5. We're at the top 5, bottom 5 really. It's Curse of Bridge Hollow, Netflix movie with Marlon Wayans. I know you've seen Marlon live.
Yeah, different Marlon in the movies though.
But the movie, and I said this, I think I said on Letterboxd, and I said it, I think I said it when we discussed it. Just watch QB Halloween. You have much more of a fun time.
Yeah, I agree.
Or
Goosebumps.
Yeah, or Goosebumps, or if you want something scarier, Fear Street, or Night Books. There's other stuff out there that's really great time. But Curse of Bridge Hollow was just boring. It's boring. It was not interesting. It was like, I don't know. Netflix, stop giving Marlon movies.
No, I don't agree with that. Let him be free. Let him do what he does in his stand-up.
So who did Six Tuplets? Was that him or was it
him? But I just he takes on bad movies. I agree with that. But if he did what he did on stand-up, man, it'd be great. Like he's hilarious. But he's not funny in movies anymore. I don't understand. But hey, it is what it is. My 5th one, now maybe this isn't as bad as it is, but it had no budget whatsoever, and it was trying to rip off Jaws. It was called Bull Shark. And I mean every sense of the way, it ripped off Jaws from beginning to end. But with no budget, and terrible actors. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, it's not even a bull shark; it's a great white. So they got the shark wrong. So it just. It was awful. I couldn't believe what I was watching yet again.
Number 4 for me on the worst list is Invitation. I finally watched it, and I absolutely thought it was boring. Like the most boring vampire movie I have ever seen. It was just. I'd rather watch Twilight, all of them. Again, when I like Twilight, I'd rather watch them than watch this movie. I'd rather watch Morbius again, and it wasn't that great. But I would rather watch that than watch Invitation. It felt like it should have been made in the early 2000s, maybe. But it's trash. It's trash. It's trash, man. Your movie's trash.
Hey, it's not my movie. I didn't make it. 4 for me is also, well, it's not. Yours wasn't a Netflix original. That actually went to theaters, but it's on Netflix. This is a Netflix original, I do believe. It's called Choose or Die. Robert Englund did some voice work for the movie, which is why I watched it, because I was expecting like him to be some kind of killer in this movie, but as a voice. Not the case at all. It's about these kids that play this video game, and you die in the video game. You die in real life. It's kind of like that one movie that you absolutely hate, but I actually enjoyed, and I'm losing my voice. But anyway, you also get to, man, you get to pick who lives or who dies in the game, and if you choose they die in real life. It was just horrible. Oh, everything about it was just bad. I felt embarrassed for Robert Englund that he got credited in this movie because that looks bad on his resume. But
for me, number three for me is Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, wow!
Jurassic World Dominion. That movie, first of all, I thought it was going to be dinosaurs in the world and people dealing with the dinosaurs in day-to-day life. Like that would have been really cool. But no, we had another secluded island with dinosaurs. And then I'm done with the whole clone thing. We had locusts. Best part about it is the legacy characters. Thank you for them. I'd rather just had them, but I wanted them to all be together. Just no. Jurassic World Dominion, number 3.
Wow. I'm shocked that made your list. But we're going to get some shockers in the best, I'm telling you. Oh, okay. That was number 3. Okay, number 3 for me is an Amazon original movie. It came out on Halloween, and it's called Unhuman. And it's supposed to be about zombies. And it is not about zombies at all. Then I've never watched a movie on Amazon. I've watched movies in theater that made me mad with the twist. This twist made me angry. I never watched a movie that went to streaming that made me so angry than Unhuman. But yeah, I should have known better though. It had one of the actresses from the I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show on Amazon, and that was complete trash. So
I still haven't finished the show, by the way. I don't know who did what. I haven't finished it, nor I forgot that it even existed.
The girl is attractive, but God, that movie sucks so bad. It gave a run for its money for my top 2 worst films of the year, but I had to put it at number 3.
Ooh, number 2 for me is a Netflix original, Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
Wow.
Stephen King, your son has had a better year than you. Mr. Harrigan's Phone is just, you can tell Stephen has ran out of ideas. And Mr. Harrigan's Phone is...
now. Stephen King didn't direct the movie.
No, I know, but still, it's a concept that is just a kid dials a number and tells his dead old man friend who he wants dead, essentially, and then they get killed. It's the dumbest thing. Netflix, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Number 2 for me.
Really? Netflix be ashamed of all the crap they put out year after year? Number 2 for me, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. And when I watched this movie, I was like, there's no way anything tops this movie as worst film of the year. But I was wrong. But everything about this movie is awful. It's the worst Jeepers Creepers movie. It's not even a Jeepers Creepers movie, in my opinion. It's just they changed so much about the character, so much about the world. Everything that was established is literally gone. It's gone, and just I hope they never make another Jeepers Creepers movie after this.
Wow. Number 1 for me. I think we might have the same number 1.
We may have the same number 1.
Number 1 for me. The worst movie I've seen this year. The Monsters.
We have the same number 1.
Rob Zombie. The Monsters. What? Listen, I have lost all trust that Rob Zombie's a good director. And stop, for the love of God, stop casting your wife in everything. Please. She cannot act, man. Sherry Moon Zombie cannot act. She does Baby, but even then, it was better in like House of a Thousand Corpses. For me, I just felt like the Monsters. It's a disservice to what's his name? The guy that played him in the original. Yeah. he was such a great Herman Munster. But the grandpa in the movie was pretty decent. But yeah, Brandon, go for it.
Oh yeah, number one movie. Oh my god. The Monsters. Literally 2 minutes, 45 seconds. I paused this movie. I wrote a post. It took 2 minutes and 45 seconds to realize Rob Zombie made the absolute worst film of 2022. And it did not get any better. It got worse and worse and worse. You know, the movie actually reminds me, like, I felt like he was ripping off that animated Addams Family film that came out a few years ago. The first one.
Yeah.
They move, they go into this new town. You know, it just. I was a big fan of them Monsters growing up as a kid, watching the reruns, and I adored that show. I really did. So I was when I heard they were making a Monsters movie, I was excited. Then I heard Rob Zombie was attached to direct, and I wanted to commit murder because I knew he was going to rape it. I just knew he was. And he did. It's not the first time he's raped the franchise. Come on.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Well, that's our 15 worst list. We're gonna do for our best or worst for the 30. For the best, we have 30 best films. Brandon, how you want to tackle these?
I think we should go 30 to 26. Take turns that way. Do 5. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I go first.
Okay.
Number 30 for me, one of the first films I've seen of 2022, The Northman.
Wow.
Yeah, but I dug it, man. Robert Eggers is a strange man. But it's but this movie with is it Alexander Skarsgård. It's man, it's dirty. It's
dirty.
bloody.
Oh, it's bloody.
It has good visuals.
Oh, it's great.
But I thought The Northman was absolutely it stuck with me, and so that's why I made 30 on my list as my best list. Number 29 for me is I watched it recently. Spoke about it once. White Noise. Noah Baumbach. The editing in this film alone is great, and then Don Cheadle pops up in it, and Don Cheadle's freaking Don Cheadle. And then you have I forget his name, man. Kylo Ren, Star Wars.
I had it, then I lost it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
But yeah, he was great in this movie as well. And I love the way that the colors and the cinematography. But I know some people don't like the dialogue in it. This is now on Netflix. You can watch it. But I enjoyed the dialogue. They kind of talk over each other the way it works. But it's like, for me, it's real, like, especially with a family. And it gave me vibes of, like, it takes place in the 80s, so it gave me vibes of, like, almost Poltergeist in some senses. It's genre bending, but I really enjoyed it. So White Noise, 29. 28, The Whale, with Brandon Fraser. Now that I know I've been saying his name wrong, I'm going to make sure I say it right. Brandon Fraser. He was excellent in this movie. And then I'm mad because when I did my casting for Best Supporting Actress, I should have gave it to Hunt, Chow Hunt. I forget her name. But she's later on she's in my list. She had a great year. But she was great as, like, the best friend of this guy who also enables him in his disorder, his eating disorder. But she doesn't want to, but she does because she loves him. But The Whale was great, and the young lady from Stranger Things, Max from Stranger Things, plays the daughter in this movie. She does a good job. She's had a great year too with Stranger Things. So like, that last season to me is the best season. He says Hong Chow. Yeah, yeah. She's excellent, man. I should have voted for her as best supporting actress, but I didn't. But yeah, and that's number 28. 27, way low. Like it's up here on my list. Prey. I know Brandon didn't like it as much, but I liked Prey, the new Predator film. I thought that the young lady in it was great. She's the best part about the movie, and the dog, her relationship with the dog.
Yeah.
The Predator, they made the Predator for me a more of a like kind of rebirth him into like a entity to take serious. Um, and that's what I liked about it. Uh, yeah, some of the CGI doesn't look as good, but I love the idea that the Predator is going in the old timeline, like time frames.
Yeah.
And I love the way the look of it, like his mask, the bony mask and stuff. I thought, no, I really enjoyed it. Last thing, number 26 is a movie called Watcher. It's a Shudder original. It's about a woman who uh, is in a foreign country. Her husband works overnight, but there's a neighbor that lives in these apartments across from her that just watches her through the window, and she feels that he may be a serial killer, and so she starts trying to investigate because she feels like he's watching her, and she's now his target. And so it's a really great movie. It's like one of my favorite films I've seen this year, and it's on Shudder. Um, Brandon, your turn.
Number 30 is a film that I recently watched on Netflix. Troll. I absolutely adored this movie. This Kaiju type of film. I hope it does well enough to get a sequel. I really enjoyed it. It was a simple monster film, but it kind of reminded me of Cloverfield a bit. Just how the troll comes up. But it didn't go over the top like a King Kong or a Godzilla film does. It was kind of grounded in that way, and I like that. And I think it was my favorite foreign film that I watched. This is my genre as well. This speaks to me, so I had a lot of fun with Troll. Number 29.
The genre is your favorite. I thought you said foreign films is your favorite.
Oh no! Foreign films is not my favorite, but because of you, I am watching a little bit more and more. Number 29. Don't explode here, Aaron, because I know it's high on your list. Jordan Peele's Nope. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as some people. But I did enjoy it. I was kind of giving up on Jordan after Us, but he brought it back for me. There's some things that I just didn't think made sense, or he didn't explain things enough. But I thought the overall story was good. I liked I like the monkey aspect. And that's something I don't think he explained very well enough. But you kind of explained it, what was really going on there, but I felt he should have explained it better.
It was Jaws, but with like an alien, bro. Like,
I know. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, but it didn't stick the landing like it did with you. Number 28 for me is The Outfit. I had a great time with this movie. Didn't expect much. I think it takes place in like 40s, 50s. It's about this guy who makes these suits for these mobsters, and there's something goes down, one of them dies, and it becomes a mind game after that. And I thought it was so well acted. The cinematography was good to be in this basic setup. It kind of reminded me of that movie, that Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, I have no idea what was up with that guy. He was there just so that he could be his first victim, I guess. I have no idea. Literally, yeah, you're right. I don't know. They never really explain why.
See, they don't explain.
But I loved it though. But go ahead, bro.
But yeah, the outfit, it was kind of like the Quentin Tarantino movie, how it was filmed in one set location. Uh, the Dogs movie, the what is it?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that in a way. There's just the one location. Number 27 was an animated picture of The Bad Guys. I really enjoyed that movie. I didn't know
It
if it was
did.
going to make my list because there was so much that did make it. So, but I
Didn't make
enjoyed
me
the
look it up.
movie. It's one of Dawson's favorite children books. So I went and seen it with him. I really enjoyed it. Number 26 for me, major worst list, but I had emotional connections here. Clerks 3. Oh man, Dante Randall. I loved it myself. I loved it, and it broke my heart at the end. It did. It broke my heart, and I left crying, which I did quite a bit this year.
Well, there you go. Good list though. Good so far. Number 25 for me, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. It's an A24 film about a shell that is being reviewed, interviewed rather. It's the cutest voice. It's just it's the cutest little. It's like one of my top animated. I consider it animated because it's like I think it's stop motion, the shell. But oh, I want a Marcel the shell with shoes on. I want one. I want a little itty bitty Marcel that I will keep with me near my heart. Um, that's number 25. Number 24 is Violent Night. I
Well,
watched it last night. Uh,
it's a little
I
higher
wanted,
for me, but yeah.
I wanted to get it in, and I absolutely had a good time with it. I thought that he felt like Santa Claus, but it felt like a mixture of, for me, Bad Santa meets Die Hard, in some sense. But uh, uh, I thought it was fun though, and John Leguizamo, man, was killing it. He ate every scene that he was in,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, as Mr. Scrooge, and I really I just liked it, man. I love when the bad guys start feeling magical, like Santa, like that little, just kind of fun. So 24 for me is Violent Night. So where do I end at?
21.
21. Thank you. 23 for me is a Hulu original movie, Fresh,
That's a great
with
movie.
Sebastian Stan. One of the best horror movies I've seen this year. It was it was great. I recommend it to anybody. Oh man, Sebastian's so good in it,
He is.
and the lady, I believe she was she also in what a crawdad thing? Is that the same lady who's his victim? Maybe I'm wrong.
I
Is it
don't think so.
okay? Because she's had a big year too, that lady. Uh, but but yeah, no, I absolutely enjoyed it. I thought that oh, it just yeah, I thought there's some things that kind of like didn't really work in it, but for the most part, I really enjoyed that movie. It's like it had me hooked. It had me hooked. It had me hooked. All right, and let's see. I'm trying to get this. Don't erase my stuff. All right, I don't want to erase. All right, number 22 for me is Women Talking. It's a movie about these women that live in like an Amish type of colony who suffer sexual abuse from the men, and the men want them to just forgive them and forget, but the women are trying to have a conversation whether to forgive and forget, or fight the men, or leave. And what does it mean? What does each of those options mean for us as women? And what does it mean for us as our beliefs? And so the lady that's the main person in Men, she's in this movie. Uh, that lady from I know where the crawdads sing. Uh, she's in this movie. Fresh actress, same actress in Crawdads. Yeah, I thought so. Um, but yeah, so like I said, she had a big year. She had three films that came out, and all three of them was pretty good. and just other people in this movie. I recommend it. Brandon, you should watch that movie, Women Talking. Um, number 21 rather for me. Uh, it's pretty high on my list here. Is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Uh, I loved it. I thought it was the darker version of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I thought that the acting in it was great. I thought the visuals. It's one of the best animated films I've seen this year. Like through stop motion. Um, just it has some really adult content, like adult conversations. But Guillermo del Toro, I think he should be nominated for best animated film with this movie. I don't know if he'll win, but I think he deserves to be nominated. Brandon,
All right.
Tiffany, hey fellas, hey Tiffany.
Hey Smalls. 25th. It was I think it was Amazon original. Don't Make Me Go with John Chow. About a father-daughter road trip. After he gets a report that he has a tumor in his brain, he decides to go on this road trip for his daughter to meet her mother for the very first time. I just thought it was a great story. A great bonding story between a father and a daughter. And in the beginning of the movie, it says, "You will hate how this movie ends, but you'll love the story." And I absolutely agree with that. I treasure this movie. It was one of the best films I personally saw this year. I loved John Chow in it. He's such a talented actor. He's so much more than the MILF guy from American Pie or Harold and Kumar. He's so much more.
He's grown.
Yeah.
Searching is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I haven't seen that one. I want to. Number 24 for me, it got a little lower, I should say, on my list than yours, The Northman. And you said it exactly. It was dirty. It really was dirty, but it was so good. I love the story. And what's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, she creeped me out in this movie, man. And she creeped me out. Trying to, with her son, I was like, but yeah, I thought it was a great film, though. I thought it lasted, and it was a memorable film that came out earlier this year. So, number 23, Don't Hate Me, because I know it's really high on your list, but I had some problems with it, as you know. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I know. It's probably too high, but yeah, 23. That's I love the multiverse in this movie, though. It's just some things that I think flawed the movie that landed at number 23 for me. False endings, the Rock. I know it's unpredictable. You never know how it's going to go. I mean, but I loved Data in this movie because I don't know his real name, but he's Data to me. I hope he gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor because I think he's amazing. I thought the movie overall was really good. It's just certain things just kind of took me out of the movie, and that's why it lands at number 23. If it wasn't for that, it would be top 5, I think, for me. Number 22. Nicolas Cage and The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I'm a massive Nick Cage fan. I never did leave him despite him taking all the crappy roles he took. I was glad to see him be able to make fun of himself and have this bromance kind of a film. They talk about film, he's kind of a mobster, or you think he is. I had a lot of fun with that movie. Nick Cage is back, and I'm no one's happier than me about it. So, number 21, Don't Hate Me Again. The Batman. I know, right? The Batman. I just felt that I love the detective story. He is elite. He is
Yeah.
elite. I love the detective story, but and I know this is probably done on purpose, but his Bruce Wayne needs work. I totally believe they did that on purpose though, but he sucks as being Bruce Wayne. He's Batman 24/7, but he needs to work on his Bruce Wayne persona. But I thought Dano, is that Paul Dano? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Paul Dano, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic as the Riddler. You know,
Ooh, I thought.
I didn't have
I
a
didn't
problem
really,
with Robert as Batman, but
yeah.
I gave it I think a 4 out of 5. But I don't know. I felt it was too long. I think that's another issue for me. It was just way too long. But that is my number 21. Surprises
All right.
are coming. I ain't gonna let up.
Number 20 for me, and I'm going from where? 20 to what?
16.
All right. Number 20 for me is Weird, the Al Yankovic story. It is a Roku original movie with starring Daniel Radcliffe. If you don't like the Twilight Boy, man, I don't know if you like Harry Potter, but Daniel Radcliffe disappears into the role and becomes Weird Al Yankovic. And I really enjoyed it. It makes sense that it would be this is what we get. And I wish you had a Roku. I wish if they would have sent me the screener, But yeah, I absolutely loved it, man. I thought that Weird Al, Radcliffe was great, and then Rainn Wilson is in it as well. It has a bunch of cameos, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that was great. Let's see what the conversation is. Tiffany says, "I have to leave for a
minute.
For a minute." Okay, I thought it said for 8 men. I'm like, come on, Tiffany. I'll be right back. Well, thank you. I'll see you in a little bit, Tiffany. We appreciate you. And Dilfer, don't judge me, but yeah, I love Weird Al Yankovic story. Number 19, Hustle with Adam Sandler.
That's a good one.
I loved it though. I thought that Adam did a great job. I thought that you could tell he loves basketball, and he felt authentic in this role as out. And this is like his last. If this doesn't work, then it's over for him. And he spots this phenomenon. And the guy that is a real NBA player did a good job. And he's not an actor. I thought he did a good job being believable.
Yeah.
As a basketball player and actor, doing this. So I thought it was really great, man. I enjoyed it. All right, number 18 for me, Glass Onion, Knives Out 2, a Knives Out story. I'm
a little shocked. That's not higher up.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's going to be all over the place, Brandon. Glass Onion, I really enjoyed. I love Benoit Blanc. I think he's the best detective, in my opinion. But just these movies are so much fun. Kate Hudson I loved her in this movie. And then Edward Norton. Not Edward. Yeah, Edward Norton. I'm right. Am I right?
You're right.
Edward. I was just thinking about something else. Edward Norton was great in this as well. I love getting Edward Norton back in stuff. But yeah, and I just love this. And then I gotta mention Dave Bautista. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love that he's getting work, man, and that he's like out there. I really enjoy him. I loved him in the Christmas, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas one, and I loved the other lady, Mantis. I loved her as well.
He's gonna get his love for bacon in one way or another.
Get my bacon in there. The bacon was great. But no, absolutely loved Glass Onion. I've seen it twice. I'll probably see it more than that because I really enjoyed it. Number 17, Oh, make sure I didn't make a mistake here. Nope. All right. Number
Nope, it's number
17.
17.
No. Number 17 is Pearl,
Wow.
which I love Pearl.
I do.
Glass Onion too predictable. I didn't think it was that predictable. Um,
I actually thought Knives Out was more predictable to me.
yeah, but I thought that I really love Pearl. I love that. X didn't make my list at all because I didn't really care for X, but watching Pearl makes me want to go back and watch X because I love Pearl that much. I thought that uh, she Maya Goth should be nominated for Best Actress for this role. Um, she was so she's like a horror icon, or this she's the new like I wouldn't call her a scream queen because she's not really screaming, but she's a new person in horror. And I said the same thing for that Jenna Ortega as
Yeah.
well. She's out there as well. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed Pearl, man. It's just the last 10-15 minutes of that movie is just so intense.
Yeah, it
But
really was.
uh, number 16, and then I turn it over to Brando, is Bullet Train. I absolutely loved this film. I loved Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron, what's her name?
Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
I love them working together. I would love to see I would love to see a prequel with just them. I would love
Yeah.
to see that. But I really like Tangerine and Orange is what it is or something like that. But I really enjoyed them. I love Brad Pitt in this too. I thought this was just a fun movie, uh, and I thought there was gonna be like like another John Wick knockoff type of thing, but it wasn't. It really captivated me, and I really enjoyed it. And as one part, I literally laughed out loud, and it was with the water bottle thing. It's like I loved that. I was like, oh great, I loved it. Yeah. So that's number 16 for me.
Okay, number 20 for me is Death on the Nile. I really enjoyed it a lot more than Murder on the Orient Express, which was the previous film that Kenneth Branagh did. I I thought this one was more fun. I love the mystery aspect to it. It was predictable, but I had a really great time with this one, and I love murder mysteries. I would love to have more mainstream murder mysteries like this and Glass Onion, and I love these two universes. So, and they both made my best films list. Number 19 for me, Uncharted. It wasn't as good as the video games by any means, but I really did enjoy Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg was fine as Sully. He wasn't really Sully, but he was fine in the movie. I just I love the action sequences. Story was okay, but overall I had a really good time with it. Number 18 for me, Black Adam. Like I enjoyed it. Um, I I thought Pierce Brosnan was good. I thought everybody did a pretty good job. Dwayne was fine. It sucks what happened after, but it was fine.
Uncharted is a movie you get with your McDonald's Happy Meal. Man, he coming with some stuff. What number was that for you?
Black Adam was number 18. Number 17, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Shock.
Yes.
I had a great time. I thought it was a very entertaining mystery about what happened to a certain character. I thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of making fun of today's generation. I had a great time with it. Number 16 for me, Violent Night. Yeah, it's Bad Santa mixed in with Die Hard. In my opinion, mixed in with Home Alone, especially when those Home Alone scenes were happening. I thought it would have been really amazing if they would have cast Macaulay Culkin getting killed that way. It just would have been full circle with the audience. I think it would have got a huge reaction from the audience. But that movie was a lot of fun. And John Leguizamo, he had a comeback this year. So,
and it's funny that you mentioned that because I'm going 15 through when?
11.
All right. Number 15 for me is The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy and Ray Fiennes, and of course John Leguizamo is in there, who is great in that movie. I really enjoyed the film. I can't wait to buy it. Actually, probably to stream it. Let's be real, Brandon. You know me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was. I love. I would consider a dark comedy. A dark comedy. I thought it was great, man. I don't want to spoil anything if anybody hasn't seen it, but absolutely watch The Menu. Number 14 for me is Black Phone. I got my bacon. No, that's not bacon. I was gonna say I got my bacon. I was thinking about Smile, but it's not on my list. I was thinking about Smile because that's Bacon's daughter. But no.
Don't worry, I'll bring the bacon home later.
Black Phone, Ethan Hawke. I thought it was great, and that was Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, based on his story. I thought that it was a great little throwback horror to like a different time frame, and I really enjoyed those like elements. It was a little bit cliche and predictable at some point. I thought it's been a great year for horror. Speaking of which, number 13 for me, Scream, 2022. Whenever you get Sidney Prescott, Dewey, my dude, and the rest of the gang plus the new cast together, and they can still breathe fresh life in this franchise, I'm there. And I thought that it was just an absolutely great time of a movie. And though it was sort of predictable at some point, some of the twists was like pretty good. But I wish me and Brandon wish that one thing happened and it didn't happen, but I still enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, baby. You know it's a screamer. Number 12 for me, B.J. Novak directorial debut, Vengeance, which I thought was pretty funny actually, and I thought Ashton Kutcher was excellent in it as well. I thought it's about a man who doesn't really know this lady, but has had relation with her, and he is mistaken as like a boyfriend, a past boyfriend. She's dead, and so he goes to a funeral, but then from there he starts a podcast to kind of find out what happened to her, if she was murdered, and just to kind of make a set about like Texans. But it's a really great movie. BJ Novak isn't the best actor, but he's an outstanding writer and director because this movie is phenomenal. But I enjoyed him in it. I enjoyed him in it. But yeah, Vengeance. I thought it was really good. Number 11 for me is All Quiet on the Western Front. Give me a moment. All Quiet on the Western Front was a film that is on Netflix. It's a German speaking film. It's a war film, and it's it's. I think it should be up there for best picture as well. Um, it war is not nice, and it just oh man, it 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 sticks with you as well. But I thought that the main actor in it did an excellent job. There's some scenes where he goes through a whole range of emotions,
Yeah.
and you could feel every single one of those emotions while he's going through it, and it's just oh man, and then loved it, man. All Quiet on the Western Front is my number 11.
Number 11 for you. Okay, number 15 for me. I'm just gonna say it. Ambulance. I had a great time with it. It's a hit and miss for people though, but for me personally, it was Michael Bay returning to form, how he would make films in the '90s, and I've missed that Michael Bay. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie though. He looked like he had an absolute blast. But yeah, I had a great time with it. 14 is an animated film from Disney called Strange World. Another Jake Gyllenhaal film, along with Dennis Quaid. Um, I had a great time with that. Even though it bombed at the box office, I had a great time with it. Dawson actually really enjoyed it too. So, it was a good father-son movie. 13 for me, Glass Onion. You mentioned it earlier. I I love Daniel Craig as his character. He's just his delivery is I love it. What's his name? You mentioned his name earlier. I forgot.
You mean Edward Norton?
Yeah, Edward Norton. I love him when he plays these slime ball type characters. I just love it. It's so entertaining to watch. Just to watch him. And
He's so good at playing those.
Yeah, I give Dave Bautista credit too. He was really good in this movie. And we said it a few weeks ago on the podcast. Ron Johnson came out and said Dave Bautista is the best wrestler turned actor ever. I agree. I have to agree with that. Even though he's not the biggest, that's Dwayne still, but he is the better actor. So
I agree.
I just thought it was a very entertaining story, and I love the cameos. That they got in the movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. It was just a very entertaining murder mystery. Number 12 for me is a Netflix original film. I'm losing my voice again. Ryan Reynolds, The Adam Project. I thought it was a great sci-fi action film. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, but I enjoyed the story. It was a little bit emotional at times, especially when he's at the bar with his mom and they're talking. I love that story. And number 11 for me, Aaron mentioned it a few minutes ago, Scream, 2022. That broke me with what happens in that hallway. It really broke me. I agree, Tiffany. I agree.
Yeah, I really enjoy Adam Project as well, by the way.
But Scream, man, that hospital hallway, man, it broke me. I was in tears. I needed a moment to get back on track with Scream because I expected it going in that it was going to be him, but man, it broke me. But I think these movies now, it's not about who the killer is. It's about what leads up to it, But I had a great time, and I look forward to Scream 6. But you're up, 10 through 6.
All right. Let's see. Tiffany says, I felt like it was too predictable. That's referring to Scream. Or she could have been referring to something else. But 10 through 6. Number 10 for me is RRR, which is a Pakistani, or I don't know if it's Pakistani or it's to the India, Bollywood type of film. It had some of the best action Great story. It's 3 hours.
It is. I
uh,
did it
but
1 hour, but
but but I absolutely enjoyed the bromance in it. I watched it all. I didn't watch it all in one sitting. I watched it like maybe the first 2 hours and the last hour I watched the next day. I didn't watch it all in one sitting. But I really enjoyed our. Um, but it is number 10 on my list. Number 9 is Nope. Oh Lord, this is different. What are you saying? Oh, it's second best movie of 2022. Um, Nope. Uh, I really enjoyed it.
that's how I feel too. Nope.
No, I enjoyed Nope. I thought that Jordan Peele was able to create some good characters, good concepts. Yeah, yeah, it was some things that doesn't work, but for the most part, I thought visually it was great. I thought he created a creative creature, and it's I thought that like that's the most original creature I've seen in a very long time. Uh, and so I thought that was really good. Um, and Kiki Palmer wasn't as annoying in it as she typically is. And then number 8 for me is one of my favorite anime movies of the year, Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I loved it. I loved it. I know people might be like, "What?" You Yes, I love Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. I thought it was funny. I thought the jokes worked. I thought the ugly Sonic thing was great. Um, I loved it. I loved it. And we were watching Polar Express the other day. They mentioned Polar Express eyes. It's funny watching it and seeing them. I'm like, oh yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. Um, number 7 for me, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Uh, is it's Brandon mentioned pretty much everything that I had to say about it. The satire, the kind of Pokemon of Gen Z. Uh, but I thought it was excellent. It was one of my favorite films of the year, obviously. Number 5 for me, no,
Six.
not five, six, six. Number 6 for me is the Batman. The Batman, it was great. Yeah. What are you saying? I have seen 230 movies released in 2022. You've seen a lot of movies, bro. Um, Brandon could probably rival that. But I think I really enjoyed the Batman. I didn't have an issue for one with Robert Pattinson as Batman. I thought he's great. The way that it is it's year 2 of him being Batman, so he hasn't figured out how to kind of give be that Bruce Wayne persona as as well. So he's still figuring out things as he goes and taking notes and trying to fine tune things to become the Dark Knight. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought Colin Farrell was fantastic. Paul Dano was pretty good in it as well. The Riddler, they made the Riddler scary, and I really enjoyed it. Um, let's see, Chippendale was one of the what I was talking about. Oh, it was great. Okay, I feel you. All right, good job. Thank you, Tiffany. Smiles, aka my new best friend. All right, um, Brandon, go for it.
Yes. Number 10 for me. I think it was like 12 for you. Vengeance, BJ Novak, Ashton Kutcher. I can't think of the other guy's name from uh, Logan and that last Predator. Well, not the last one, but the one that sucked. I agree with everything you said about it. I thought Ashton Kutcher was amazing in it. I thought the writing was so good. It was funny. It was heartfelt. Um, I like when they insult BJ Novak. They go, "Bless your heart."
Mm.
I just love it. His performance in I actually liked him, and I don't like him as an actor, but I liked him in this, and I thought he was he's a he is a very good writer, and I think he's a very good director. I was impressed with this movie. It shocked me. Number 9. Now this was tight. Now these next 3 were neck to neck for me. I was like, but I'm giving it to Pearl. I like the movie a lot. I like how it looks. I like the cinematography. I like the setting. Yeah, him. I just liked everything. And Maya Goff was, man, she blew people away with her performance here. It was such a good performance, and how she just snaps. And she just wants to get out of that house, and she's gonna be stuck there for decades. But I thought it was great. I thought it was.
Go ahead.
Who's whistling?
My grandbaby.
Oh, number 8 for me is Etz. I enjoyed the story, even though I didn't go into. I don't think I watched the trailer going into Etz, so I didn't really know what it was about. But I really enjoyed it. Like I said, Maya Goff, Jenna Ortega, such a good cast in that movie. I thought it was a really good story. I thought that it looked like Texas in the 70s. Gave me vibes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just thought overall, when it got gory, it really got gory. And I don't know, I had a lot of fun with it. Number 7 for me is my favorite horror film of the year, Smile. Here we go. Here's the bacon. Here comes the bacon. I really love Smile. And I know how you felt about it, and I went in expecting to hate it. Actually, I no expectations, but I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was 10 times better than the movie that you love. You said it was alike, but I had a great time with it. I think she's a really good actress, Kevin Bacon's daughter. She got some bacon in her, so
got some bacon in her.
So I really liked it. Number 6 for me, best animated picture of the year for me from Netflix, The Sea Beast. I just thought it was an adorable, cute film, but at the same time, very serious about monster hunting and the bond this girl has with Red, and we just disagree on films, Bilfer.
Yeah, that was my thought, Bilfer. So go ahead.
I think it follows is kind of bland.
Oh.
It was fine for a one-time watch, but I will never watch it again. I have no reason to.
Unless I choose it for the podcast, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too slow for me. But it was fine for what it was, but yeah. But yeah, Sea Beast was number 6 for me.
All right. Here we go. The top 5, guys. Number 5 for me is The Barbarian. When I seen this movie originally in theaters, I went into it on the day. I didn't see any trailers for it, didn't know what to expect. Went into it when the movie started going and just was pulled into it. And then it had my dude in it, JL, who pops up. I just really loved and to me, it's honestly my favorite horror movie of the year. I thought it was great. It had horror elements, it had comedy elements. It's right up my alley type of stuff. So number 5 for me is Barbarian. Number 4 for me is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I thought that movie, Michelle Yeoh was excellent. I forget Key. I don't want to mispronounce his name, Data, but he was great in it as well. I thought that this is the most diverse movie that we needed this year, and not the one that we got from Marvel. But yeah, it was a great film, and I really enjoyed it. Number 3 for me, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was a fun ride of a movie. it made the most money in the box office this year, I think. And it not only that, that's not a measurement, but the fact that they did their own stunt, that the movie felt like you don't need to see the original to enjoy it. But I watched the original for the first time and then watched this film, and I was like, man, this movie is so much better than the original. And Tom, I went from Tom Cruise hater to like a Tom Cruise lover, honestly, not because of this movie, but because I did all the MI movies. And I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a fantastic film. Number two for me, The Fablemans.
Wow.
The Fablemans was an excellent film about Steven Spielberg and his coming up, his life, and I thought that it was beautiful. It kept me mesmerized, but it's something. It wasn't like something like I feel like I want to go back and watch it again. But it's something that kept me mesmerized. It kept me like just thinking this magical that I experienced that. My number one movie though kept me telling people that they should watch it, and it's Elvis. Elvis is my number one movie.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Elvis is my number one movie of 2022. Because it's something that I watched, and then like when it was on HBO Max, my first thought was whenever people come over, I want to put it on so that they can kind of see it and experience it. And I thought Austin Butler was excellent, and the soundtrack. And I thought about it because the soundtrack to this day, I go back and listen to it like maybe once or twice a week. I listen to the soundtrack, and thought about the way that he disappeared into Elvis, and I no longer seen Austin. I just seen Elvis. And then when at the end of it, when it goes to Elvis, you're like, oh, it is Elvis.
Bill for trolling you.
I know he is. I know he is. I changed my number one movie to Elvis too. All right, he probably is changing. I don't know, but go for it, Brandon.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. I am so shocked. I would have bet money that The Fablemans would have been your number one movie. Just the way you talked last week, and private conversations. Wow, I don't even know what to say to that number one right there. But I'll say this: number 5 for me was the most fun I had in the theater this year. Bullet Train. I enjoyed that tremendously. It was just literally the most fun. Brad Pitt was amazing, but the twins, man, they stole the movie. Even Michael Shannon's in this movie. I mean, he doesn't do a whole lot, but he's in it. It was a really fun time. Number 4, though, this was really hard. This is the hardest list to come up with when you come up with the top 4. Top Gun Maverick gets my 4th pick. Now, earlier in the year, it was number 1. Then it went to number 2. I thought it was going to be number 3, but it's number 4. I agree with you. The stunts, it was unbelievable what they did. And I was like you early on. Like, I didn't like Tom Cruise either until I saw Mission Impossible. The very first time I watched that movie, it changed my opinion on him. Then I think I went and saw Jerry Maguire, and that completely changed my opinion of him as an actor. But yeah, I mean, Top Gun Maverick, man, what they accomplished there, the story with him and, Goose's son, it hits you on an emotional level, man. The reason he didn't want him to go in, become a pilot and everything. I mean, I thought it was some of actually Tom Cruise's best acting in this movie. The stunt work's amazing, what they accomplished there, but I thought it deserved every accolade it's got. And, props to Tom Cruise, Top Gun, props. Number 3 for me, oh man. Honestly, didn't know what to expect going into watching this. I watched it Monday. Avatar: The Way of the Water. like I'm not big on the first Avatar movie. I like it, but it didn't impress me the way it impressed millions of people, apparently. But I thought when I walked into this movie, the first lens, man, I couldn't believe the world I was seeing. What he did with the 3D, and I watched it in 3D myself, and it was just beautiful. But I liked the story in this movie. I thought the story sucked in the first one, and I like the story in this one. It's about revenge. It's about protecting your family. I don't know. It's just a lot going on with the family members in the movie. It's got an emotional stake in it. I feel James Cameron is maybe a top 3, top 4 director now, like of all time. He's amazing what he's accomplished just in this movie alone. I mean, I had a great time and I thought it was amazing. As Buffer says, we agree on something. He blew my freaking mind.
Yeah.
Number 2, and this was honestly hard to come up with number 2 and number 1. Like, man, number 2, I agree with you though. It is The Fabelmans. I almost put it number 1. Honestly, I did. I was like, but then I thought
it really came really close for me, man.
then I thought, how I was after Elvis, and how emotional I was. It was just a different level. But this brought me back to why I love film, to begin with. What he was feeling as a kid, Sammy as a kid, I felt that my entire life. This is why I became a film fan. So I feel this movie it's not just a Spielberg origin story or how he became to love film and became a filmmaker. It's a movie lover's guide to why we all became lovers of film. So for that alone, I mean, I'm a huge fan of this, and I always will be. But it touched me. I loved it. And number 1 is Elvis. If you watch the review, well, it was a out of the theater reaction. I was a complete mess. I was a complete mess. I grew up listening to Elvis. And it was just, my grandfather was in the army with him. So, I mean, I have some kind of stakes here with this guy, but I love the story. I hated it in a lot of aspects, what Colonel did to him, but I love the transformation Austin Butler did, how he became Elvis. Because when I was watching it, I didn't see Austin Butler. I didn't see an actor trying to portray one of the biggest musicians of all time. I saw Elvis on that film, and it was just truly one of the best emotional musical experiences I've ever seen on cinema. But it's just my take. People said love The Fabelmans, but the mother was a cheater. It made me sick.
Yeah, she was. She cheated or whatnot, but I think that just that's the thing about it is families can be sloppy and messy, and that kind of shows that. But I thought it was an excellent film. But yeah, for me, Elvis was a movie that he was able to carry different versions of Elvis and actually portray them in a way which is believable. And you never felt like somebody just doing like an Elvis impersonation. You felt like this was really Elvis Aaron Presley. And so I thought it was great, man. And I think that he should be nominated for Best Actor. I don't know if he will get it, but he should definitely be nominated. But yeah, that's our best and our worst list of 2022. Some shockers, but yeah, we agreed kind of around the top 3. Was it the top 3 we agreed around?
Well, I had Avatar as number 3. You hadn't seen Avatar, so you had Top Gun, right?
Yeah. So, and I had everything everywhere all at once before. But yeah, we agreed when we got close to that. But it was a good year. next week we'll be doing our most anticipated of 2023. So that's going to be a list that we would compare to our best and worst when it comes to next year. Because last year my most anticipated was Halloween Ends at one point. Clearly, that made my worst list. Bullet Train wasn't on my radar. Nothing else was really on my radar. Uh, for I didn't really want to see Top Gun Maverick, but look, it ends up in like my top three. The Batman, I think it was there. Um, I'll say that 2022 was a year filled with surprises. Um, in movies, I think it was one of the best years for horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Smalls, can you send me the list of each of your lists from where I missed half of it? Sure.
We're gonna send you both of our lists, and you can agree to disagree. But because it seems like he was noting. But Brandon, thank you for another year of doing the podcast with me. Absolutely love you and appreciate everything you do. You're my dude, and I really enjoy just like our friendship and just talking movies with you. And Bilford, he did try to watch RRR, but it was like 4 this morning, and this is after he done binged The Perfect Strangers and everything else that he don't watch. So he's tired. My guy had to sleep. But
I watched an hour of it. I actually enjoyed what I've seen of it. I'm probably gonna finish it tonight, though.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to maybe see this weekend Avatar too. Yeah, because I hadn't been. Happy New Year! Thank you, Bill, for Happy New Year. Thank you guys for keeping this up. Can't wait to hear your list for next year. Thank you, Smalls. Or is that just y'all thing? I can't call it that. I'll stop. But because y'all like
no control over what you say. Happy New Year, Bilford.
Yeah. But yeah, we Brandon, what do you want the people to do in this hour and 42-minute podcast episode we had today?
Well, if you're still here, we would like for you to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast.
And Happy New Year, Tiffany, aka Smiles.
Happy New Year.
Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you thought. Did our list match your list?
No.
If it's Bill, probably not. But
our list is the most unpredictable list of all time. Come on.
Yeah, I love doing it, man, because you don't know what's gonna pop up, and what's gonna make your list. It's really hard compelling this list. There's so much stuff I had on there, and I took off, and I had to fit this and this, and thank you all. I was gonna say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Be safe. If you're gonna drink responsibly. Just be safe though. Love each other.
Coming up, is it our 4th year?
This would be, I think it'd be the 5th. I think
5th.
5th
I don't
year.
know how long we've been doing this.
I can tell you this. According to my Anchor, on our Anchor page, we have. I think this will be episode 203. I think we are. Let's see. Go ahead and read that for me.
My list only got French, Korean, Japanese, and Indian movies.
Did you just say Indian?
That's what he said.
Indian. No, Indian. You said Indian.
Indian.
Indian. Say it again.
I'm not saying it anymore.
Oh wow. Let's see.
He likes foreign films. That's all that's it.
All right, so this will be episode, because we did Christmas Chronicles and stuff last week. This will be episode 202. So this is season. So we'll be kicking off season 5 with episode 202. So 5 years. We started way back here with Pet Cemetery, or was it
It was us.
Us.
Yep.
Was our first film. How long ago was that?
It It's 2018, I do believe.
The show's
April. I know it was in April.
April 2019.
Oh,
So
so
19.
it's our 4th year.
So this is 4. So we're going to 4?
Yeah.
Season 4?
Yep.
Well, my math is wrong. I'm sorry, guys. But then again, I'm not good with math, so that's okay. All right. Well, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Oh, well, I gave you a review of RR. I told you I enjoyed it. I don't know if I would do it again. Listen, I like the movie. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, though. Let's be real. It's 3 hours, man. It's 3 hours. But I've seen it. I'm glad I've seen it. I'm glad I experienced it. I voted it for my best international film. Yeah. I voted for my best international film. Right behind, actually, I chose All Quiet on the Western Front, that RRR, and then Athena. Those are my 3 best films international that I saw this year. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna watch it again. It's not happening. All right, Avatar for 202. If I see it, no, 203 maybe. Well, I don't know. Brandon chooses the first one back after our list, I think. No, he did Chronicles.
No, it's your turn after most anticipated.
Ooh, yep. All right, we'll see. All right, but in the meantime, in between time, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Go ahead, Brandon. Tell him.
And we are the Markout Movie Podcasters.
Thank you for marking out with us.